What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, back with some more boxing. Well, it looks like the WBA, WBO Super Bantamweight champion Guillermo Rigondeaux, 12-0 with 8 knockouts in his professional career. However, he has a very extensive amateur pedigree, being a Cuban fighter, being in the Cuban boxing system, one of the best in the world. It looks like Rigondeaux is not holding back, and he's doing a little trash talking, trying to bait Nonito Donaire into another fight. And this is really what he had to say. Donaire thought I was the easiest fighter out there. Now he's out there clamoring for a rematch. If he is willing to come down to 123 and not weigh more than 10 pounds the next day, I would be willing to give him another beating. I am waiting for him to win another belt so I could take that one from him as well. That's what he told the Miami Herald. Um, my thoughts on it. It's kind of funny. That's for one. Um, he's willing to fight him at 123. I don't know if Nonito Donaire is going to want that. I personally see Donaire trying to get every advantage that he can, trying to make this fight happen at 126. The Vic Darchinyan fight against Nonito Donaire took place at a higher weight than 122. And Donaire has kind of been on and off saying that he's never going back down to 122 or he can't make the weight any longer. It's funny how Rigondeaux outclassed him, and then all of a sudden he's just so forced out of the weight class that he can't make it. So, I want to see it. I would love to see a rematch. I really think that Nonito Donaire, one, he should probably take another fight before a Rigondeaux rematch, based on the master boxing class that we've seen Rigondeaux perform. Rigondeaux was just surgical, performer surgery, and couldn't miss with some of his shots. Pinpoint accuracy. I think Nonito Donaire needs to look a lot better than he looked against Vic Darchinyan, because Vic Darchinyan was providing some punishment, tagging him with shots. And ultimately, Donaire needs to re-energize his career, kind of like Pacquiao did after his knockout. He looked very good against Brandon Rios. And truth be told, those were both the same type of fight. The Brandon Rios fight was put there to really see if Pacquiao still had it. Because stylistically, even though I picked Brandon Rios to win, I told you the only reason I was picking is because of timing, and I didn't know how Pacquiao would look out of his knockout. Some people take that out of context, but that's for another episode. But stylistically, we all knew that Pacquiao was superior in most categories: experience, speed. He was a southpaw. Footwork was better. Power was certified at 147. We knew how his power would look at 147. We've seen him hurt bigger guys like Cottos and Margaritos and whatnot. So we knew all those things. And he was put in a position where he had to fight an opponent who should be a confidence builder for him. And in Pacquiao's case, that's exactly what it was. Same thing with Donaire. Donaire lost to Rigondeaux. They put an opponent in front of him that he had already knocked out. He'd already sparked and beat 6 years prior. And he was supposed to make it look easier. It was supposed to be a confidence builder to get his confidence back. Now, he was still able to have the same end result and stop Vic Darchinyan, but he didn't do it as masterfully as Pacquiao dismantled Brandon Rios. And Vic Darchinyan hasn't even looked stellar in some of his recent fights, like his fight with Gallo. He had that Puerto Rican prospect. I forgot his name off the top of my head. And he looked good in that, but that was against somebody who ultimately was very inexperienced, very green. And Vic Darchinyan gave Nonito Donaire all he could handle. So I really just think Nonito needs to come back, refocus, re-energize. I think over the years, after being dominant so long, honestly, it's hard to perform at like a Mayweather level in terms of someone like, oh, you always bring up Mayweather, but there's a lot of things he does right. That's the only reason why it's an easy example to cite. But if you look at Mayweather, someone who's been in the sport 16, 18 years, and he's still on top, there's a reason. He disciplines himself. He disciplines his body. He gets up there and does the training. Now, you could be the biggest Mayweather hater on earth, but I don't really know anyone who is willing to go on record that's credible, and they're going to say Mayweather's a slouch in terms of he doesn't put the work in. He doesn't train hard. He comes into his weigh-outs overweight and looking sloppy, looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick. Like, not many people are going to venture off and say that, no matter how much they hate Mayweather. Because, I mean, it'd be blasphemous because I mean obviously he doesn't do that. But Nonito Donaire, that's the flip side of the coin. You could be dominant and be able to get these guys and the people that they're putting the Jorge Arces in front of you, or the fighters like what's his name, the Japanese dude. I'm drawing a blank with some of these names, and you can face these types of opponents, the Matabulas and whatnot, and you're able to overcome, or you're able to do very little. Like your power and your size and your speed is all that it takes to overwhelm those types of fighters. But then when you're in there with the Rigondeaux, it's different. He's gonna, if you're gonna beat him, unless he's just really off, like I don't know, sick, or he had a bad training camp or something, he's gonna make you work for it. That's my point. And you're going to have to probably make adjustments, use some different, give it some different looks. You're not gonna just be able to overwhelm him necessarily with one punch, or overwhelm him with your power or speed, because he has power and speed to match that himself. So sometimes fighters like Donaire, they get a little complacent. Like Donaire, all he's needed to do in the past is overwhelm people with strength, with speed, with power. So the first master chess player he got in there with in recent memory, where that wasn't going to be enough, he just didn't perform, and that's why Rigondeaux beat him. Rigondeaux was a sharpshooter. So I just really think Donaire needs to get refocused. Boxing is not for the weak. I'm not saying Donaire is weak, but you can't be complacent. The moment you have just a little bit less hunger, or decide to skip this workout or skip that workout, that's when it could all fall apart. Because Rigondeaux, he had to leave his family to come to this motherfucker to fight. He had to do these things and make sacrifices. Being away from your wife, your kids, these are sacrifices that he made defecting, trying to get out of Cuba and make a livelihood for him and his family. These are sacrifices that he had to make. Not saying Nonito Donaire never had to face any type of adversity or make sacrifices, but I think over the years he's just become a little bit more complacent. And that's not good enough, because there's always someone out there who's probably hungrier, or just wants a shot, wants a chance to take you out. So Donaire just needs to come back, refocus if he is going to fight Rigondeaux of all people. The Vic Darchinyan performance, to me, wasn't good enough. He should probably take another fight. Come back, focus, and then put on a good fight that I know he's capable of doing. I think he just has to, you have to have that desire in your heart, kind of like Pacquiao showed in his last fight. Will this desire go on? Only time reveals with Pacquiao, and we'll have to see what happens as Nonito Donaire's career unfolds. But Pacquiao did it once. Maybe he'll continue, maybe he won't, but we shall see. Same thing with Donaire. So let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.